Shawn Wagner, Middle River, Minnesota. I joined the Army National Guard in February 1987 as a infantryman, and worked my way up through the ranks fairly quickly. We became Bradley qualified in 3 years and jumped to the 11 Mike series and moved up to the rank of Sergeant First Class through that, and then
Can we go back a little bit, Shawn?
sure,
Yeah, when did you go, what year did you go in?
1987.
1980, what, pardon?
1987.
1987, and did you go to basic training at that time?
Oh, you want to go back? Okay, you want step by step?
Yeah, sure.
How detailed? How detailed do you want me to be?
Yeah, as detailed as you want to be. Kind of go through basic training, AIT. People want to know how that went.
Okay, I'm tracking you. Yep. Okay. Yep. Okay. Ready?
Go ahead.
And start from scratch then.
No, we'll just keep going.
Okay. All right. So I went to basic training 5 months after I enlisted, which would be June of 1987. I went to Fort Jackson, South Carolina, in Tank Hill.
What was basic training like for you?
Basic training was something I expected because my father had given me a lot of pointers on what to expect. My military leaders, we had a specific leader designed or designated, for us newbies to learn really quick the common tasks and things like that and what to expect for basic training. So there was really very little surprises other than the 20 DIs jumping down your throat as soon as you got off the bus. That was a little bit wild.
So do you feel while you were at basic training, you were being National Guard, you were treated any different?
And not in this particular case, no, I don't think so. Maybe a couple of the regular drill sergeants were a little bit biased, but we had a bunch of Guard guys in that particular battalion for basic training. So there was a lot of us there, and we were treated fairly.
So were you mixed with regular Army or all
Yes.
that? You were mixed in with? Okay.
Yes.
All right, good.
Yep.
Good. Okay,
Yeah,
and
my bunkmate was actually a regular Army recruit.
Okay, did you know anybody? Did you know anybody when you went?
Yeah, 5 of us went. Yep.
Okay. All right.
Yep.
So you went through basic training, and where'd you take it at?
Fort Jackson, South Carolina, Tank Hill.
Okay. And from there, did you go to an AIT school or?
This was a very unique situation. They tried a USET training, one station unit training, and first time ever that they brought in different sets of drill sergeants every 2 weeks on the Guard and Reserve side with a regular DI as the overseer. I don't know if that lasted very long because the regular DIs were like fit to be tied. They had no idea what to expect and how the other set of leadership was going to respond and what they were going to do. Us as trainees were completely taken off guard again every 2 weeks because let's say the first 2 weeks was for physical training. They focused on physical training. So if we asked questions about other things, they weren't super confident on their answers. Plus, we always seemed to be doing something wrong because we weren't doing what the last set of DIs did. So it was very challenging. We had basically a new set of drill sergeants every 2 weeks, except for our main.
That'll make it tough, yeah. And
it was challenging.
And was this at tank school where you're at, or?
Well, Tank Hill, it's just the name of the World War II area for the barracks side of things in Fort Jackson. They actually uncondemned the World War II barracks for us to stay in, so that was pretty old.
Yeah, but your MOS was what?
11 Mike infantry.
Oh, infantry, okay. Because
11 Bravos infantry, that's what I went into, and then it switched to 11 Mike, which is Bradley's.
Okay, can I have you back up just a little bit? Can I have you back up on the chair just a little bit? Okay,
Sure.
there you go. Okay, now, so you were infantry training with tanks. Is that what I understand?
No, they were all infantry in the. Well, I shouldn't say that. Actually, there was a mixture of MOS. There was all kinds of. There was clerical. There was radio. There was everybody in those MOSs. It wasn't just 11 Bravo.
Okay. Okay, and then so you're in South Carolina, right?
Yep.
And you from there, what'd you do?
We stayed put. We stayed right there for the extra 5 weeks, 6 weeks, whatever it was. So from June to September 4th, we were in beautiful, hot, muggy South Carolina. 90 degrees by 9 in the morning, and marching in the sand and the chiggers and the fire ants and loads of fun.
Yeah. So you did a little bivouacking, or?
A lot of bivouacking. Yep. FTX was digging foxholes up to your armpits. You know, it was the whole thing. It wasn't. There was no cutting corners back then. It was full out training.
Okay, so you get out of base AIT about when?
AIT was September of '87.
It's 87, and from there you go home, or?
Yep. I had a chance. Probably my only regret, probably ever, in the armed forces was we had a chance to go to jump school. We were so fired up to when you get the blue rope as an infantryman, you get pretty fired up that you did something special. And there was some jump, like airborne. There was some spots open to jump school, and we declined and went home.
Fort Benning? Would you have gone to Fort Benning then? Yep, Georgia.
Exactly.
Yep. 82nd Airborne. Yeah. Okay.
You got it.
And so you went home?
We went home.
Okay. And where do you go to weekend meetings or?
Yeah. To start with 87. You know, pretty just statewide stuff. Just training. Just training. 90 with Desert Storm. That came at us. We were practically just starting or in the middle of, I guess, the Bradley train up. Essentially, we were not qualified to be Bradley crew members yet, or Bradley anything. I mean, even the guys in the back weren't qualified.
Bradley would be Bradley tanks? Is that
correct? Bradley fighting vehicles. Yep.
Okay. And then, so you had weekends, and then did you have summer camp?
Yeah, 1989. Yeah, 1989. We went out to Fort Irwin, California for desert training. 3 weeks of fun in the sun. There was no sun, and it was cold. In January, that was loads of fun. And that was right before we got the notification that Desert Storm was happening. So essentially, we did the desert training, but we were still in 113s at that time, the APCs, and we were in the process of upgrading to Bradleys, and we weren't ready, or else we would have been in Desert Storm, Desert Shield, Desert Storm. We would have been there.
You'd have been brought over?
Correct.
Okay.
But we weren't, because we weren't trained.
Okay. So your 2 week, well, you had 3 weeks training. Was it same place every year, or you were there for a while?
Yeah, Camp Ripley.
Camp Ripley?
Yeah, Camp Ripley, was the basic one. When we got into the Brads, though, then that turned into trips to multiple different forts because there was simulators. Essentially, if you couldn't get in a live Bradley, you could do a great big video game, essentially.
Okay.
A huge compartment where your driver is laying, in a simulated driver's hatch, and we're in the turret. And when we learned how to do gunnery online, if we couldn't get to the real Brads, and that was in Fort Knox, Kentucky. That was in, that was in Fort Hood, Texas. I think Fort McCoy, Wisconsin, and a few more. So
you'd go around from fort to fort to practice, and did you do that during summer camp or just any time?
A lot of it was Muta Sixes, actually, where it was the 3-day trip. We'd get flown out, do our thing, and get flown back.
Oh, really? Well, Oh, so you did TDY? Okay,
Yep.
very good. Well, that must have paid pretty good.
Yep. Not bad.
Yeah. So you were in for what, 6 years?
I was in just shy of 22 years.
Oh, you were a lifer.
Retired.
Okay, yeah. And what was your rank when you got out?
I was a first sergeant, E8.
E8 when you got out. Good. Anything else you want to add there, Shawn?
Um, super blessed with the experiences that we had. Got to see the world. Had one deployment over to Bosnia Herzegovina. Ended up being the only contingent, essentially over the rainbow, I think it was called, if I'm not mistaken, where we went to Kosovo as well in the same deployment because there was an uprising over there that we had to settle down before we got to come home. So there's 100 of us. If we ever wrote a history book, I think that would be the only two that were ever in the same theater, essentially, at the same deployment. So
Okay, good. The other thing I wanted to ask you is, well, as you were in the Guard, did you ever get called out for like civil service to go out to flooding or anything like that?
Flood Fight 97 was about as humbling an experience as you could ever possibly imagine, trying to save the homes in East Grand Forks on the Point Bridge there. We were in Crookston first, and the ice dam, we heard it let go, and we were busy doing the checkpoints at that point, and we saw that the river let go in Crookston, and that was it. We knew we had to get to East Grand Forks in a hurry. And so we got there 2 hours prior to the water getting there, and we were sandbagging with hundreds of us as fast as we could go, and we lost. The water was ridiculously fast.
Yeah, it was a bad time, wasn't it? Yeah. Was there any other? Pardon?
Yeah, Grand Forks looked like a war zone.
Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't good. Is there any other thing you got called out for other than that? You remember?
In me particular, no. There's of course winter survival. Everybody would, come out for. We'd have to go find stranded motorists and stuff like that with our 113s way back when, but I wasn't part of that. That was the Thief River guys mainly that were right there at the armory.
Is that where you were stationed? Was the armory in Thief River?
They called me Gumby because I was willing to go anywhere to lead anybody or to get a rank. So I was in Thief River, I was in Crookston, I was in Fergus Falls, back to Thief River, back to Crookston, back to Thief River, and that was the first 17 years of my service. And then I went out to Dickinson, North Dakota for a job and ended up getting 12 Bravo qualified, which is combat engineer. And then I came back after 5 years from that and went back in the service again, or back into the infantry side again, and put the 12 Bravo as secondary.
So were you full-time National Guard then?
Sure felt like it, but no. So first sergeant job, of course, is multiple hours a week, not just the 2 days a week and go home again. My last from 2004 to 2008, which are my last 4 years in the service, I had to travel to Camp Ripley at least once a month, if not twice, from Middle River, which is the three and a half hour drive, just to do drills or to conduct business and stuff like that. So yeah, it was definitely more than. It was still part-time, but it was way more than 1 weekend a month.
Okay. Well, anything else you want to add, Shawn?
No, I appreciate your time. Thank you for doing this. I'm excited to see everybody else's story.
Yeah. Well, Shawn, I want to thank you for your service and thank you for doing this interview. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, Keith. Thank you.